So we walked in blind, managed to get a group of birds to gobble to an owl hoot 60 yards from us. Got set up, had another group down across a hollow quite a few hundred yards away. Right about fly down, I had a hen to my left start chirping. She pitched down and walked right in front of me about 5 yards. Got some pretty cool GoPro footage of her, and she took those. And she took those birds to my right, straight away from me. They kept gobbling, birds across the hollow. They were hammering good. I managed to call those turkeys the whole way down into the bottom and back up onto my bench to about 60 yards, and they just stood down there and strutted. Could never get them to commit to the decoy. Let them work off. That was about 9 o'clock or so. It started to rain, and the birds pretty much shut down. So at that point, I decided we're just going to get out of here. We'll be back here in the morning. I was on my way home. Rain decided to let up a little bit. Had one more place I figured I'd check on my way home. Grabbed the bow, the gun, the decoys, and the camera gear, and I headed into a blind that we had already had set up on the summit, we call it. It's just the highest point on this farm. Rookie mistake on my part. I stood in front of the blind and called, knowing that the turkeys frequent the opposite end of the farm as well, and knowing it was mid-morning, if I had to make a move, I didn't want to have to tear everything back down. Well, one series of yelps and 50, 60 yards just down in front of me. At that point, it turned into a cluster I managed to get one decoy out, get in the blind, get the arrow knocked and the camera gear set up. Didn't have a mouth call in. Glass call wasn't handy. By the time I get just enough situated, I look out 40 yards and pecking around, there stands 3 longbeards. like I said, no call, and they were getting nervous at this point. Didn't want to commit to the decoy. I took the arrow off the bow, laid it on the ground, went to reach for the shotgun, and that's when it dawned on me, I don't have a shell loaded. So I had to chamber a shell into the gun, which obviously makes noise. What do you do at that point? The turkeys are getting nervous. They start folding their wings and heading back the direction they came. So I start clucking and purring, a couple yelps with just my mouth, trying to get them to stick their heads up. One sticks his head up. I pull the trigger. To be honest with you, I thought I missed. Put another shell in the gun, and I look out again. I can see wings flapping. Out of the blind I go, get over on the turkey, and it turns out to be just a stud of a longbeard. My biggest bearded bird to date. About a 35-yard shot. Oh, we got one, buddy. Just one of those fast-paced rookie mistake, almost cost you a turkey mid-morning hunts, and it seems like I'm becoming known for that in the turkey woods, because it seems like every year I end up killing at least one turkey mid-morning, and it happens super fast. I managed to get the kill, but it's impromptu on the fly, and I'm ill-prepared, so what another great morning in the turkey woods it was. Man, what a morning. This never gets old, sitting behind turkeys. I've been known to make these mid-morning hunts happen pretty fast, pretty often. It's the second one in 2 years for me. 10 o'clock this morning. Come in about 9:30 and hit the call. Had a group of birds fire off just down over the hill here. It was a mad dash to get in the blind and get set up. But we got in there and had just enough time to get everything situated. It was a mad dash. By the time we got the camera set up and my bow ready, turkeys popped up over the hill here. I didn't even have a call in my mouth or anything, and I could tell they were getting nervous. So had the bow on my knee with an arrow nocked, ready to go. Could tell they weren't going to come any closer, so managed to somehow get the arrow off the bow and chambered a shell into the gun. Called enough with my mouth to get them to pop their heads up over the hill, and I don't know how good the footage is, but put the bead on his head and let it eat, and I honestly thought I missed it first. I just saw birds running. Chambered another shell and looked back over, and I could see wings flapping. Tore out of the blind, got over on him. He was deader than a doornail by that time, but
Definitely not a pretty bird. I mean, they're all pretty, but not a pretty tail fan. Must have been a fighter. It's got a pretty good beard on him, probably 9 inches or so. I haven't measured it yet. Inch spurs or so, and this just never gets old. Never, ever, ever gets old. And after the morning I had, feels pretty well deserved. So, Grip and Grin picks today. We are happy about it, and stick with us because we're not even a week into the season here in PA, and we got one on the ground. So we're gonna enjoy this one, go home and celebrate. Dad had to work today, so doesn't get any better than this. Grip and Grin outdoors, baby.